pardon me, I didn't empty my recycle bin before. The further you go away, yeah, the more slowly time goes. I mean, even on a mountaintop. Time is slower on a mountaintop. But, you know, I mean, to me, this is just endlessly fascinating, how uh, how we perceive time, number one, because we've only recently, as humans, as Homo sapiens, perceived time in a particular way where we've needed to know that different places have the same time. That was from railway travel, and it's all very recent. And how has having not clocks and timepieces, but modern world, you know, the modern world, everything that we're doing in our modern world, we all experience time differently, actually. And how does time, if time is a creator, how does time have anything to do with how we perceive our environment as well? Is it part of creating the environment? Is it part of the hard problem, which is, how am I perceiving this outside of my head? Is it actually there? Is it inside my brain? I mean, the brain's just a decoder, right? Isn't it? And I'm not seeing it in a series of snapshots. It's in a flow. And there's other things involved. Look at the sparkle of the water, the reflection in there. I can tell whether it's warm or cold, you know. If it was hot, I'd see steam. Coming up, I can see the different coloured glass. So the qualia, you know, timelines, it's something we've only started doing recently in the last few hundred years. And what can we put into timelines? Well, we can put the rise of humans that think and feel certain ways as well, because they might be created over time, just as the species itself is created over time. They're always evolving, and things get genetically locked in, and that can be traits, just like, you know, traits are locked in to animals, even like different species in the same race. You've got in the same family, you know, lions have different traits sort of to cougars, etc., and dingoes have different traits to coyotes. Are they different just because of their physical DNA? Like, what? How else do they feel different? And is this the same with Homo sapiens now? And what's going to emerge out of us? How are we splitting? What will time show us about the Homo sapiens? Are we going to, you know, Homo sapiens might be the last of the human race now, but it doesn't mean they always will be, maybe. Because there's so many ways that we evolve, through experience, through what we do over time and how things get locked in. And what am I trying to say? I don't know. It's just, you know, if you believe, I don't know. To me, I think not. I always talk to the universe, and I believe in energy and energy exchange, because we are exchanging energy with everything in the known universe all the time. I mean, that's really how it is. And you know, even in dreams that open our four-dimensional nature of being, it's not this, but it's not in the brain as well. And it's Homo sapiens that can nearly control their own destiny, actually. And they can do that by how they feel, what they think, what they do. And you know, will we get to the point where there's the two female offspring who, you know, and this is just going to be, you know, and it's an endless process. Yeah, I think because I believe in the infinite nature of the universe, and I mean, look, it doesn't mean that energy hasn't always, yeah, I mean, I don't understand quantum physics enough, and I don't understand, I'm not a philosopher, but I'd like to know more. And I think if we can understand a little bit about experiencing the external world, what power we have over our experiences coming from the control of our grey matter, because yeah, perception is so much. Okay, so as you might know, decades and decades ago, I took some drugs, and you have some really interesting experiences. And you know, some people say that, you know, two-dimensional world, and it's, you know, but it's holographic, and we've got our three-dimensional the perception up here of the hologram. Well, I've seen the two-dimensional world. I mean, I've seen the world like that, and I've seen people just pixelate and their faces come out stretched out on light. I've had all sorts of visions and things, and I mean, it is intensely interesting. You know, you've got to give drug use that, but most people that stop. I think some people miss those experiences, and they miss the creativity, or they miss the inspiration. But I think there's enough inspiration as there is to ponder our world, to ponder what a human being is, what makes us human, what makes us Homo sapien. Are some people, you know, they say more equal than others? Are some people more human than others? I mean, yeah, we are in an interesting state of flux, because it's been 2 million years. That's a long, you know, it's a very short time in what people think is the 14 billion years since the Big Bang, or the Big Bounce. Earth took billions of years to come together, and there were billions more before organisms arrived, you know, began on the planet. And depending on who you believe, you know, we could have come out from water or not, you know. Yeah, I'm just so curious because a lot of philosophers and a lot of physicists who think about this stuff, um, yeah, philosophy and physics, they do go together, but I'm really interested in how people's religion or spirituality is affected, or how does this sort of stuff affect their belief system, and do you even think about it, um, because people are afraid of saying they don't believe in God, and I think that's, I've had enough years on the planet, and then it's really surprising too. Some people that you think have had a faith all their life, I've found it, recently they don't. They're still afraid of nothing afterward, and you think, well, have you had your life living with this faith? It hasn't given you the real peace that you thought it would. Um, yeah, everything, you save yourself, you really do. A friend of mine who became born again, and I've spoken about her before, she's very strong-willed and bloody-minded, and when she decides to do something, she does it wholeheartedly. So, um, and she went back to her faith like, ages ago, decades ago probably now, and had a very strange marriage with a Christian person that did not work out. He was very controlling, and that was the kind of wild at heart, sweetie thing. Um, well, she wanted those traditional roles, but she just chose someone because she was wanting to get married, and and it was wrong, and she's very strong-willed, and she's gone boots and all into her, I think, Baptist faith, and she credits Jesus for pulling her through, but it was really her decision to have faith in something, and the decisions that she made every day and how she lived every day that saved her. It was her strength, it was her own resilience. And I don't think people should be too quick to write themselves off and write off the power of their own brain, whatever it is, because look, it is grey matter, it's a decoder. It's really the energy that you're looking at, using it, the energy of the universe that you're drawing that strength from. You're doing it, and take the credit. But I think what over time makes a good person or a bad person or something, I mean, this is why children are so vulnerable, because they are malleable, and so they are ripe for molding how they feel and their patterns and their responses to the external world. And can you breed in, we talk about psychopaths sometimes here, and we talk about, creating factor one, factor two, where does it all come from, and are people just born bad and things? And well, maybe, just like dogs are locked in with certain natures, we often think certain breeds have certain natures. Are there natures in people that are like a race, a new race, and then is that going to eventually lead to a new species? And are people just getting further and further away from just some sort of baseline of some sort of original Homo sapien, where we came out, eventually had this upright walk, these opposable thumbs, this particular brain, and this just type of consciousness, this ability to perceive ourselves in a certain way with relation to the world and each other. And do you ponder sometimes where it is all going? And will God have been, if you believe in God, will God have been the creator of the new race as well? Or, where do you draw these lines? Where do you draw these lines, these branches, this has made no sense. It's in two parts. It's a game of two halves, as they say in sport, which is a ridiculous saying, obviously. It makes, so sorry, it hasn't been a very good humanimal chat today. So it's brought to you by maybe the holographic universe, maybe the implicate explicate order, maybe Bergson's perception of reality, whatever rocks your boat. I mean, I'm not really down with Einstein's theory of relativity, because I do, I don't know, about the theory of light, speed of light, can you not go any faster? I don't know. Yeah. This neurochemical flow in here, it's yours to master. It is yours to master. You're your own master. And, have strength and have faith in yourself. Whether you are Christian or not, you don't have to subjugate yourself to Jesus, I guess. I mean, have faith in him, and, you can have that personal relationship, as people say. But please don't forget to have a personal relationship with yourself. Please know that don't write yourselves off. And life is choices. Life is a series of choices. It's an infinite, it's a smooth flow of choices. I do want to know more about people's faith. I know how some of you came to have that faith is through hard times, through loss, through trials. I'd love to know, have people come to their faith because of joyful moments, beautiful moments that were just so glorious? They weren't necessarily struggling at the time, Was there something that just showed them that they believe in the glory of God, or that the mystery of life is just, they want that, they look to that as an explanation, that because life is just so immense and mind-boggling that it'd be great if someone knew what was going on, Let me know.